Hey, what's up guys? And I'm back with the deck profile of my Zombie XC deck that I've been playing with. So this Zombie XC deck is really fun to play. It's kind of trolly in a way, but it's not like to the point of like Dustin's maybe, or Ojama's. So it's still trolly, but not to that point. But this deck is really fun. It's pretty consistent, and there's some offensive power in this deck. So let's just get on with this deck list, I guess. So I run two Armageddonites, one Bacon Saver, three Blue-Blooded Onis, three Goblin Zombies, two Kage to Kages, one Mass Chameleon, two Mizukis, one Morphing Jar, one Pyramid Turtle, one Shooting Doji, two Summer Monks, and three Zombie Masters for the monsters. For the spells, we have three Book of Life, one Dark Hole, one Foolish Burial, three Infernal Reckless Summons, two MSTs, two Upstart Goblins, two Phoenix Chains, one Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, one Sixth Sense, Solemn Warning, and Torrential Tributes. And for the extra deck, we have Crimson Blader, Scrap Dragon, one Abyss Dweller, one Degusto Emerald, one Evil Swarm Ouroboros, one Cowboy, one Gemini Pearl, three Lavalva Chains, Maestroke, Black Shep of Corn, Master Key Beetle, Vylon de Sigma, and that should not be there. That should be Papilloperative. So that Gemini Pearl, I don't need two Gemini Pearls. So nope, not in the side deck. Wow, what am I doing? One Papilloperative. So this deck has not really too many issues. The only issue is that it kind of revolves around the graveyard, and after your explosive plays, you don't have much to work with if your opponent gets rid of it, gets rid of your field of monsters. I mean, so um that's really the only downside to this deck, but the upsides are so good that it kind of is worth it, I guess. But yeah, that's just a little about the deck. And this deck really revolves around Blue-Blooded Oni. Blue-Blooded Oni is what gets your plays off, what drives this deck really. This is like the backbone of the deck. Um, and some other cards around it just help out this deck, and for Blue-Blooded Oni to get its playoffs. Like Bacon Saver just helps the deck. It stops OTKs. It's another monster to discard with Zombie Master or maybe a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Oh, that's a mouthful to say. That's like a tongue twister right there. So Bacon Saver is there as a little tech to, I don't know, yeah, help the deck really. And why not run Bacon Saver, right? Who doesn't want to save bacon? Come on, piggies, man, gotta save those piggies. Um, so we run two Kage to Kages to help with the Exceed early on. Just to set up the grave, and afterwards, if you're done setting up your grave, you don't really need another Kage to Kage. So that's why I only run two, just for a bigger chance of drawing it first turn, and not having to draw it later on if I'm like running three, because you don't really need to run three. So we have one Mass Chameleon, allows me to go into my synchro plays. sometimes into some exceed plays. So Mass Chameleon overall is a really good card, but I'm only running at one because it only has 3 targets in this deck, and those 3 targets aren't like the main focus of the deck. Now for Zombie Master, I only um need Zombie Master if, well, I always need Zombie Master, but you know, it's not like the biggest role it has in this deck. It helps exceed summons. And maybe it could help with synchros. Oh wait, no, never mind. This is not a zombie. Duh. Can't help with synchros, but it could help with exceed plays and other discard outlets for maybe some Mizukis in your hand, or a Bacon Saver, or dead Kage to Kages, or maybe a blue-blooded Oni. So a Zombie Master just helps with this deck so much that it's like the sidekick of blue-blooded Oni. So blue-blooded Oni is like Batman, Zombie Master is like Robin right there. So that's I guess a reason why I only run one, because I don't really need it, and it's not always going to be in the grave. So yeah. For Morphing Jar, so I typed in Morphing Jar because one, sometimes my hand consists of cards that only work in the grave, and Morphing Jar could help with discarding all of them right at the same time. So that's really a plus. And another thing Morphing Jar does for me is it's a late game option. After, you know, you go through your whole explosive blue-blooded Oni plays, sometimes your opponent has the answer to everything you throw at them, so sometimes you're left with nothing on the field, and not blue-blooded Oni, Morphing Jar helps with, you know, replenishing your hand so you could get some more plays off. So that's why I added in here, because most of the time after you go through your explosive plays, you're not going to have a hand to work with. I guarantee you that's like 80% of the time. Maybe the other 20% is like 1 or 2 cards in your hand. So that maybe like a Mass Chameleon or a Book of Life, because those are the only really viable options to have in your hand, I guess, after your explosive plays. So that's why I have Morphing Jar. Shooting Doji, just for that loop, that combo loop. And there's nothing really too much to say in the main deck. Sixth Sense just broken in this deck. Milling doesn't hurt this. Drawing doesn't hurt this. So it's just only logically. It only logically makes sense. See what I did there? Sixth Sense makes sense. Okay. It only makes sense to, you know, run this card. Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Just another discard outlet, and plus returning a card to the top of the deck could potentially hurt your opponent. So with this card, you could, you know, put your opponent's synchros or exceeds right back onto the top of the deck, and plus it could, you know, disrupt your opponent's plays, because if they're top decking and they keep setting a card, Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, right? Put that card right back, and you have nothing to worry about. So just a good card. And oh, the 2 upstarts. So I only run 2 instead of 3 because I don't even know myself. 2 has been working out for me. If I really needed to draw, I would use it, and your opponent gaining 1,000 life points. You could get that life points right back, because this deck is just so explosive that your opponent gaining that like 2,000 extra, I guess, if you combine the two, gaining that 2,000 extra is really nothing because you could just punch a giant hole into your opponent's life points deck. So that's why I run the 2 upstarts. And for the extra deck, Degusto Emerald. Degusto Emerald is really good. It's a Pot of Avarice, I guess now. And plus the second effect, where it could special summon a non-effect monster. You could special summon out the Gemini Pearl. So in case like Gemini Pearl dies early on, you could special summon it out once again, have a 26 beater on board. So that's really good as well for Degusto Emerald. That's really all there has to say. I mean, Lavalva Chain for that one combo, and yeah, Balance the Sigma, really good card. It's a Relinquish and a Catastor combined, so that's really good. I would say one of the underrated monsters, rank 4 monsters that require 3 level 4s. So yeah, this is the deck. I will be having a combo video of this deck later on, and I'm working on another variant of this zombie deck. It's a very interesting variant that it may not be as consistent, but it's a pain to deal with that deck. It's something most people will never really, think 2 decks that could work with 1. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be very interesting. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Be sure to leave a comment if you have any suggestions for this deck. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.